Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Karen's Stamp Pad. My name is Karen Scott, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Edmonton, Alberta. So welcome to today's lives. I am going to continue on playing with the All About Autumn suite. So I am just using the sentiments. I haven't done any stamping other than the sentiment stamps. And I'm using the dies and the beautiful designer series paper, which is, of course, sold out, but should be returning. I think it said October 9th. So I noticed today when I was looking at the website and the supply list that a lot of the designer series papers have been sold out and will be returning. But added to the list was the Berry Christmas designer series paper, and so there's quite a few that have been very popular. So keep your eye on things if you want to get any of them, and hopefully they'll surprise us and they'll come out with with them sooner rather than the dates that they have on there, but you just have to keep checking. So hello, April, how are you today? Nice to have you here. So I've got a few more, two more cards to show you, and they're pretty easy, but it is showcasing the designer series paper. And I won't talk your ear off. I will point my camera down and show you what I have in mind. So let me just get this going here. And there we go. So I'm going to show you this card, and it's pretty easy to put together, but you just have to do a lot of die cutting. And like I said like I did in the last video, I'm trying to maximize the designer series paper, and so I'm coming up with ways so that I can cut it down and use the back side to the of the designer series paper for the backside of the envelopes. So so that's one of them. I'm going to show you a little way of making this more of a 3D project. So I'm going to use a different paper, but I will show you this cute card using one of the other pieces. I've got die cuts all over the place here. Hello, Ray. How are you? Thank you for joining me. All right, so let's just put those out of the way. And I've gone ahead and I have prepared everything. I'm going to start with our Moody Mauve, and I'll go through the measurements with you. I didn't want you to have to sit and watch me do all of this. But this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, and it's cut at 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Oh, hello, Kathy. Thank you. Thank you. So, and it comes with our the designer series paper is actually quite pretty with the pretty peacock and the Moody Mauve in it. It's got a bit of green, so I believe that's Old Olive in there. So you could have pulled in any number of those colors. That is going to be for my envelope. I've gone ahead and I've already cut down a piece, and I cut it in half. So this was a 6 by 6 piece of designer series paper. I cut it in half, and then I cut it again. The piece that I'm going to use for the card, I cut it. So this was at cut it at 3, and then at 5.5 because I want it to go all the way down the card. Or sorry, 5 1/4. So we have a little bit of a border. This one doesn't go all the way down. So we'll put that aside. I've got my inside. It's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And seeing as how I cut this down at 3 inches, I want a little piece that I've gone ahead and cut. And this is 1 inch by 5 1/4 inches. And then I ran it through the embossing folder, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's one of our new ones. And it kind of almost has a similar design I won't say almost the same, but similar. So I thought it would go really nicely. I used my stylish shape dies, and I cut out a piece of vellum that I'm going to be using out of one of the circles. And then I went ahead and die cut some of the leaves of the with the dies. And I'm going to be decorating, as well as the sentiment piece. So all of these come in with the dies. And let me just grab them. And show you. I think we have a couple of people who, I know Ray wasn't here the other day, but these are the dies that come with the stamp set. And the stamp set is here. So, I mean, you could certainly stamp and cut them out, or they're standalone dies, and they are quite nice on their own. So I've done some in Pretty Peacock to pull in the Pretty Peacock out of the Designer Series paper. I've gone ahead and, like I did on Tuesday, I used the, what do you call it? The adhesive sheets, and I put it on the back of the cardstock so that when I ran it through, I don't have to put glue on these pieces. I can just peel off the back, and it already has the adhesive on it. So I can put the veins on the leaves without making a sticky mess. And there we have it. So you can see it adds some texture to it. So I've got one more I'll put together, and then we'll just start putting the card together. And that can go on there just like that. I'm going to take my paper snaps and just cut those off because I'm going to hide them anyway. So all right. So now we've got all our pieces. I'm going to, and that's sticky, I'm going to bring in our stamp set and just stamp a sentiment. And I think this one I'm going to go, because I was using I'm Thankful the other day. So this one I'm going to put with a grateful heart. And I'm just going to pull in my, I just want to make sure it fits. I'm pretty sure it does. It does. All right. That's the nice thing about Stampin' Up. They make everything so it coordinates, right? Okay. So I'll pull in my Moody Mauve. And stamp that. Hopefully I get it straight. Yeah, that's not so bad. And now let's put our card together. So these are nice and easy. If you already have the paper, then you can certainly put these cards together. If not, and you're waiting for it, then you can make some. So just going to use my tape runner, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a border. So an even border there. And put some on my embossed piece. and just push it right up against the designer series paper. All right. So we've got that. Now what I did was this, remember vellum, you are going to see the adhesive through the vellum. So put the adhesive, we're going to cover it up pretty much. So I don't think I really have to worry too much about where I put it. So I'm just going to put some in the center that I know is going to be hidden. And I'm going to center it. Now I'm going to take my big maple leaf and I'm going to adhere that first. So Ray, how have you been? It's been over a year since I've seen you. I hope all is well. Okay, I'm going to put this down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sentiment and I'm going to pop it up with my dimensionals. Grab your take your pick tool because it makes these dimensionals a little easier to handle, and it pulls the backs off. All right. Just make sure I have it straight there. Okay, now I'm going to take my other leaves and just going to find a place to put those. I'm going to pull in my liquid glue. Ooh, this is a brand new one. I didn't notice that. So, you know, I broke down the other day. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Are you doing any stamping or want to do any stamping? All right. Hello, Margaret Ann. You didn't miss an awful lot, Margaret Ann. So I finally broke down. I've been seeing a lot of the demonstrators on the or American demonstrators buying these little fine tip glue bottles, which work great. And you'll see on the next project, I didn't use the adhesive sheets. So it works great on really small things, but I bought a couple of sizes and I went and emptied all of my liquid Tombow into these small things. So I had a bunch of these sitting around that had really goopy ends on them and everything. So I just used the little ones and I emptied all my bottles into there. So and they work really nicely. And you don't forget to put the cap on because it's attached. So it didn't cost much. And I highly recommend it if you have some leftover glues in your bottle. I can't wait to introduce this to my friend Leanne. I think I'm going to give her one. Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah, the vellum, Kathy. I know. I always forget too, but I know I don't. I'm going to stick this one right here. So, how was your class, Margaret Ann? And thanks for sharing. That means a lot to me. Okay. I'm going to put these just like they were flying in the wind. I'll put one over here. And put one down here. All right. So I could have saved one of those. I should have saved one for my inside. So here's my inside piece. I'm just going to hear that. And then let's see. Let's do the back side of our envelope. So we'll just put some liquid glue on there. I'm going to turn it around and put that on. And then we're just going to cut this off. So I know most of you are hobby demos, but one thing, I always made my cards just to give away. I'm going to hang on to this because this was a 3-inch piece, but I can cut. That's what I'm going to do. Let me just show you how not to waste paper. It's too pretty not to use up. So what I'm going to do is pull in my paper trimmer. I'm going to try and make that straight. Cut that off, and then I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/4. So let's put this on the inside, and then that decorates the inside of our card. So put a little bit of glue on. Now we've used up that whole piece of 6 by 6, and all I have left is just this little bit of garbage. So that makes me happy. This paper is just too pretty to waste. There we go. So we've got that. We've got our matching card. I guess the only thing we need is some bling on this. So I grabbed a new package of my rhinestones. And I'm going to color these with my Stampin' Blends. I just want 3 little guys. And let's just place those right about there. So there we have it. Oh, you have to show me some pictures of the cards, Margaret Ann. I'm going to a 35 for 35 event with some demonstrators, and it's celebrating Stampin' Up's 35th anniversary, and I'm going to do that on Saturday. So Sarah Douglas is supposed to be there, so that should be I had a chance to meet her if I wanted to in Vegas, but there was so many lineups and people wanting to meet and greet and do photo ops and that kind of thing. I didn't. So I'll have a chance on Saturday, which is nice. So there's our first card. And I will, okay, the second card is going to be a little different. And I'm going to pull in my pieces. So I've cut a different way, or the long way. So you're, pardon me, 8.5 by 11, cut it 4 1/4, and scored it 5 1/2. So let's just burnish that edge so it lays down a little flatter. Our inside piece, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that in there now. And we'll decorate that after. So on the front, I've cut a piece. Oh, this is, I'm thinking, what is that for? Okay, cut a piece of the designer series paper. So this is the copper clay, and has the library books on the other side. So this I cut at the six by 6 piece of paper. I cut at 3 1/2, and then I cut it again at 5 1/2. So we're going to do kind of like we did the other day. And get this going. Uh-oh, I'm going to run out. I can see that red line. And I'm going to have to use my liquid glue. All right, so we've got that. And then I grabbed the leaves, and I cut this in half at 3. So depending on which way you want your leaves to go, you can cut that down. But before I put that on, the reason I've got a scrap piece of paper, and this is for our envelope, I'm going to take this, and what I'm going to do is bring in my mini cut and emboss machine, and I'm going to give it, I want to give it a 3D effect. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put my paper on here. I'm going to turn it this way just so I can see. I want to center it. And I'm going to take, I've got 2 circle dies, and I'm going to take the smaller of the 2, and I want to put it right in the center. So line that up in the center the best you can. Put your chop guy on there and try not to move everything. I'm holding my breath as I'm doing this. Okay. So there we have it. Remember, you can use washi tape to hold it in place if you don't want to hold your breath. So I'm cutting that out. And then what I want to do is use the bigger die. And I'm going to cut a piece of the copper clay. All right. There we go. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to center it so I have a little piece of the the designer series paper coming out either side. I'll just use my liquid glue so I have room to wiggle it. All right. Good. All right, so there we have it. So now what I want to do is not lose my piece. I am going to take this piece because it is fairly, I want to line it up so I know which way to put it on. I am going to put it on here, center this. So I can go ahead and do that. And then so I know which way it lines up with this. So it's that way. I'm going to stamp my sentiment right on here. So I'm going to bring in the autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. And my early espresso. And stamp that. And there we have that. So now what I'm going to do is I want that 3D effect. So I'm going to pop it up with my dimensionals. And we will put it right over top of that. So now we have, and we've just taken and added a little interest to what could have been just sort of a plain card. So now we're going to take the embellishments that I've already die cut. Ah, thanks, Kathy. Okay, so this is where I did not use on these twigs. I did not use the adhesive sheets. It would have made my life a lot easier. So I'm going to, and this you can, I'm sure you've seen other demonstrators using this, but you can just put little dabs here and there. So I'm going to do the twig that I die cut out of early espresso. So just put a few dots here and there. And I can put them underneath my popped up image. I've got a couple maple leaves. Oh, and before I do that, I want to use my early espresso and my finger dabber or dauber. And I'm going to just do the edges. So like I said on Tuesday, just so it kind of has that feel of changing leaves. I don't know. I think it also makes it stand out just a little bit more. So I'll glue that down in a second. I'll go ahead and do the other ones. So time is it? 4:30. I'm off to see an osteopath after this. It's my first visit, so it should be interesting. I've never been. My brother swears by them. And so I booked myself an appointment, and I'm going to go see if I can get some help with some issues. Some back issues and neck issues, and here we go. All right, so I'm done with that. Now we just need to assemble it. Put a little glue on, slide it under. So I've been having so much fun with this set. I mean, it's not, I haven't gone and done any fancy fold cards or anything like that yet, but I just like I love the designer series paper and the die cuts, and I watched Betty Martin do her video the other day, me and my cat stamping, and she did some stamping with it. Okay. I'm just going to put a couple of these leaves around here. And then I'm going to save one for the inside. Some bling. And then we are almost done. And then once I put that on the inside, then I go ahead and do my envelope again. All right. So there we have it. I won't make you watch me do my envelope again. I will do that in a second. I will just pull that out and put it aside. But let me know what you think. So here's our 2 cards for today. And that would be it. If you want some of these cards, let me know. Like if you want me to put together some kits for you, that is doable. Just give me a shout out. And if if you do make any, if you have this suite, I'd love to see. So post in the comments, and yeah, I'd love to see what you. Thanks, Margaret Ann. Yeah, so don't forget, Margaret Ann is already signed up. I've got a card class coming up at the Spruce Grove Library, and on Friday the 29th from 1 to 3, and also online via Zoom the same card class from 7 to 9 on the 29th. So if you're interested, it's $35 and we're making six easy cards using designer series paper, the Winter Meadows, and some of the specialty papers. So actually two of them are fun fold cards. So but anyway, so just give me a shout out if you're interested. And hey, Carla. Yes, please watch the replay. And thanks for jumping on. And anyway, I am going to go get ready for my appointment. And but I got to take the puppies out. Now you guys have seen my puppies that I talk about all the time, and what a gong show it is around here. So anyway, I will let you go. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you back here on Tuesday at 4 o'clock. So bye for now.